Hi there everybody. So I'm back here again with you today with our current yoga for cyclist routines, what we're doing throughout October this month. As always, all you need is just a little bit of space on the floor. And I'm going to go through 3 exercises for you that are hopefully going to open up the hips and release a little bit of the lower back as well. So I'm going to come up to all fours to begin with. And I don't know how you do this, but we're going to bring your right foot forward so it's in between your hands. So I'm going to do that by coming into downward facing dog first, extending the right leg up high, and then swinging that through. But you can just shimmy that foot through however it works best for you. Untuck the toes at the back. And we're going to sink the hips forwards now. So this first move we're doing, I know we normally go through 3, but this first one's actually you get 2 in 1. So we're going to work on dropping the hips first of all. In an ideal world, you're going to get your right hip below your right knee. And we're just going to enjoy that sink through the hips. We're stretching out through the inner thigh here on the right leg, but also you might be feeling quite a strong stretch down the front of the left leg, coming up through the quads into the hips. And from here, I'm going to place both hands up onto the knee. And you're going to lift the head and the chest. And we're trying to create a gentle arc in the back, not a big deep arc at all. But we're sinking the hips forwards and just lifting the chest up high. So it's taken stretch away from the inner thigh now probably, and put it all into this back leg. All the way from the pelvis, going down the thigh towards the knee perhaps. Now if you're balanced here and you want to come one more level up, we're going to release the arms and reach them up to the ceiling. And this is where you can create a bit more of an arc in the upper back as well. Just be cautious when you're doing it, you're not pinching at the lower back, but the arms are up high. And when we're here now, we're getting a really good deep stretch, anywhere from the bottom of the ribs, all the way down through into the pelvis, through the hip flexors on the left leg, all the way down that left quad. And then when you're ready to come out, you're just going to pitch forwards, place the hands on the floor, and ease away from the stretch. Okay, so again, as always, you guys will repeat that on the other side, and you might want to hold those stretches a little bit longer. It's completely up to you, depending on what you're looking to gain from that stretch. So, second move we're going to go through. We're going to take your legs out in front, take them out wide. Then we're going to turn your right leg out behind you. Okay, so perhaps you feel like your hip lifts a little bit, mine certainly does here. So if we can, just gently massage just any tension that you can feel at the top of that hip. And eventually that hip will start to drop, the pelvis will start to lower. And now, I'm firmly pressed onto the floor through that right hip there, so that's fine. What we're going to do now, we're going to turn to look down the long leg. Walk the hands away. Still want to keep that hip down. Temptation will be to roll away. We're not quite doing that, we're going along down the leg. If you find it uncomfortable with the toes pointed out to the side, another option is to point them out behind you. But try and do it with the toes out to the side first. See how you get on. So right now we're getting a really good stretch perhaps down the back of this thigh. Down the back of the outstretched leg. But what we're going to do from here, and again you guys are mirroring me, you're going to take your left hand, place that on the opposite knee. And you're going to use that bind to draw your left shoulder down. So you've opened up the body to look out across the room. And you're letting your left shoulder lower down towards the left thigh. This right hand now is going to come back, rest on that hip. So it might change the stretch slightly, maybe you feel a little bit more into the hip and into the side, but potentially still down the back of this outstretched leg. And if we can, we're going to add one more progression to this. Take this hand that's on the hip, reach it up high over the head, and and as if you were reaching for that opposite foot. Don't worry if you get there or not. Remember, we still want to keep this hip relatively pressed down into the floor. We're certainly not letting it lift way up high. I can just about get to that foot, but don't worry if you can't. And it's still all about getting that rotation now. So this is now taking the stretch away from me, away from the back of this leg, and just put it all into my lower back. Fab. And then when we're ready to come away from that, just untwist. You'll find that the fold down that leg is actually a lot easier now. And then you can push yourself up when you're ready. And again, obviously you repeat that on the other side. Final one that we're going to go through is about opening up through the hips a little bit more. And we get to lie down for this one. So, come onto your back, lie out completely flat with the legs bent. Just take a real long breath, let the body just relax there. And we're going to cross your right leg over left. We want to get your knees as close together as you can. Hug them into the tummy. And we're just going to try and get a really nice stretch through the right hip now. So I'll cross right leg over left leg. So that means the stretch is in the right hip. We're then going to reach the hands down towards the ankles or the feet. Doesn't matter where you're holding, to be fair, as long as it's somewhere below the knee, so we can get a little bit of leverage. And we're going to do the same on the other side. What we're going to try to do is separate the feet as much as possible. So my right foot now is reaching out over towards you guys on my left hand side. My left foot is reaching out towards the map on the right hand side. And I'm going to really draw those hips in. And that's giving me a really deep stretch in through this right glute. And again, if you want to ease away from it, you just let the legs go. But work with that and listen to the body. Take it as far as it wants to go before you return. Let the legs come back down. Uncross. And of course, you guys are going to go on to the other side there. So, there you've got 3 exercises that hopefully work on releasing all around the hips, around the front of the hips and into the lower back as well. Obviously, lots more exercises on our YouTube channel for you to go through as well. And if you want to know any more information about anything specific for running or cycling for you guys, if we can help you, we're more than happy to do so. Feel free to get in touch. I shall see you next month, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.